Welcome to Ecom Geeks, where we answer your Shopify questions, review your site, and give away free resources to help improve your store. Speaking of which, make sure you stay tuned until the end of the video for this week's freebie. If you have a question or a site you'd like reviewed, you can do so on our website. Your question or store could be featured next. Also, make sure to subscribe to be notified when we post new content. Now, onto today's video. Today we're going to be doing a review of Kelio Cosmetics. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that. So this is their homepage here. There's a couple things that strike me first. First off, it's a little bit difficult to see what the title of the homepage is here in the image, just because of the black text is fading into the black background. Also, I found that it took my computer a long time to load this first image here. So you might want to take a look at how large the image is and scale it down to whatever the recommended image size that Shopify recommends for your theme. So if you look up your theme on the Shopify help side of things, it'll tell you for your theme what your ideal image size should be. Another couple things. First off, you do have a favicon, which is great. However, it just seems like it's a dumbed down version of this huge image here. There's nothing that really presents itself to me as being specific to you or your brand. It just looks like some sort of tiny image there. Unlike, for example, when I'm going to be looking at the meta tags for the SEO side of your website, and you can see just for the Hey Meta website here how it has a very distinguished H there. So you might want to come up with a logo that defines what your brand is and use that as your favicon. The other quick thing that I always check for is you still have the Powered by Shopify logo at the bottom right. That can very easily be removed. That looks much more professional and it makes it much more your own. Since we're down at the bottom of the page here, let's talk a little bit about the ordering of what you have here in your footer. So first off, you're gonna want to make sure that your quick links are on the very far left side, because that's where people are going to go to click right away. You want your newsletter typically either in the center or on the right side. And I'm also noticing that there is a column here for credits that is completely blank, so you'll want to remove that. You may want to split up your quick links into another column, or you could leave it as is. Really, it's your call, but I definitely suggest rearranging those so that it makes a little bit more sense. Looking at your home page, it looks like it's good in that it's not too overcrowded and it's not too long. So that's very good. I'm glad that you don't have too many sections here that it's overwhelming. So next I want to talk about the header of your store. The first thing you need to do is you need to adjust the order of your options here. First of all, home should always be the first thing on the left. And typically, search is usually fully on the right, or sometimes it's just to the left of contact us. But you definitely want that home to the left there. For your drop-down menus, it seems great. Those are organized well. If you wanted to, you could make it so that they are hover drop-downs instead of a click drop-down, but that's more of a minor change rather than something major. So looking at your collection pages here, it's great because the font seems large enough that I can see it, the sales are there, and the images are all of similar size. Going into your products here, so I first of all, I really like this page. It's not too crowded and it does have all the things that makes your brand itself. You might want to reduce what is in here in terms of the description. Also, there's obviously a broken link here in this particular product. But yeah, you might want to tone this down so that it's less intimidating to a customer, potential customer that's trying to come in and wants to know what things are about. So whether that's making this more compact or doing it more in separated paragraphs or bullet points, that can help make things easier for the customer so that they can actually go directly to checkout. Looking into the meta description side of your web page, So on the landing page, the home page, this is what somebody would see in Google. And it's just the start of something and then it cuts off. And that's because your homepage description has a lot in it. What you want to focus on is you really want to focus on keywords that will help define what your store is about. So it's great that they're already in there. There are, clean beauty, organic, natural clean, vegan, skincare, makeup. That's all really good stuff. But there's a lot of filler and extra things in there that is not going to help your search engine optimization, and it's not going to help your customers who find you on Google to understand what you're about. So I actually redid the meta description so that it's much more concise, and it still includes those same keywords that you had in there before. So it's much more concise. Typically you want your meta description less than 100 characters long. So that would be a much better improvement. I find a similar thing with a lot of your individual products as well. It's just taking the product description that's there, and it's just use that, which is a typical thing for Shopify. But you can do a couple things to make it so that Google can find your products more easily. So when you're writing your description, I would say put the most useful things right at the start of your product description. So that includes what it is as well as the keywords that define it, so that Google can better direct traffic towards your site. Each of these descriptions in terms of the SEO can be individually changed. But like I said, if when you're going in, you're actually writing the product description, if you put the most important things and the most important keywords right at the start, then that'll get picked up automatically by Shopify. So that's an overall review of things. There are a couple other things that you can clean up. Make sure that you submit your sitemap to Google Analytics. There are definitely support pages for that, and it can help a lot in terms of getting Google to recognize you and to put your name out there. So look into Shopify Google at Google Analytics, as well as Shopify search engine optimization, or SEO. The only other advice that I can provide is to make sure that you're using as many of the sales channels that Shopify provides to you. They're free to use. So things like Facebook Marketplace, selling on Instagram, Pinterest, those can be exceptionally useful outlets to get your brand out there and your awareness out there. Once Google Analytics is set up, I definitely recommend doing some marketing campaigns to make sure that you're getting your name brand out there. Make sure that you're putting that out to Facebook, which is awesome, as well as Google itself. Before you go, don't forget to head over to our website to claim this week's freebie. While you're there, feel free to submit a question or a link to your store for us to review. Your question or site could be featured next. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next week.